Hello Marvel Heroes fans, guess what? In life, ask and you shall receive. So a lot of you have asked for a Moon Knight guide, and I have not been playing Moon Knight for a very long time. And I said, why not? I give it a try. So one day I started trying, and I kind of like what I'm trying. And I think within the same day I managed to gear up everything, and then I even managed to level my legendary through the Midtown Madness and so on. So I having quite a lot of fun with Moon Knight, so I thought I'm going to share with you my finding as well. And Moon Knight is actually from one of the more dated kind of like design. It's good and bad because back then the theorycrafting make more sense than now, because you do need to use some kind of mathematics to find out what makes sense to you use or not, because right now the newer heroes are very much having a lot of like a specialization, and I'm actually dropping my health deliberately on the to gain a better buff and so on. So where's my dupe? All right, so don't worry about me. So that's all. Advance. Okay, fine. So I mean, because right now the Neo hero design has all this specialization. The good, well, I mean, it's good and bad thing. Specialization always make it a little bit more fun, but the not so fun thing is that I mean, the build wise is not going to be a lot varied, because if you imagine you want to squeeze all the three, I don't know what happened. I can't really hit anything. I think there's a lag there. Server lag from Deadpool onto me. So I think when you have all this like specialization, you don't really get to so-called use a lot of theorycrafting, because there's only that many power you can use per specialization, and it's not something that you would sort of like use. Have something that you have to decide that should I be using this, should I be using that, and so on. So yeah, I mean, that is probably one of the reasons why I feel that the older design heroes still have a place to have a place in this game. Okay, so I don't know whether you've noticed or not, when it comes to playing Moon Knight, it's actually very, very spirit intensive. It's very extremely. It's like like back in the old day when I was playing Taskmaster. It's that kind of very spirit intensive. I have to keep hitting the mech kit, even though when my health is not really low. Now it's a shame, because from a Moon Knight design perspective, I should go for low health, because the lower my health, the higher my crit, the better my damage, crit damage. So the fact that I have to like the fact that I have to keep using Mad Kit to recover spirit, that is actually counterproductive to what my Moon Knight is. So yeah, it's not something that I really enjoy, but I mean, that is the state of the game as of now. So yeah, and then you see that my health can really drop quite a lot. Depending on the mobs around me that I can recover. Those are a better gift. I'll talk a little bit about it later. Now you can see that I'm already running out of spirit on this thing, so it's rather unfortunate. And even if I want to use this statue, I have to cost spirit so as to have some spirit regen as I hit the target. So that is really kind of rubbish in a sense. And I'm already having quite a high. I'm already having quite a high strength. My strength is 17 already, thanks to my weaker point and the pet, stuff like that. But I'm still like having a lot of like issue with the spirit right now. I don't know what else to do, but that is just yeah. Just now, do you see it? I was hitting air, so it's not really a signature that I enjoy using. I still don't really enjoy using, but I suppose if you're in a boss environment, you probably have lesser chance to hit air. And also, it's not a signature that I can use it all the time, because all this trash mob. I mean, why do you need a signature for this trash mob and everything else is so much more effective? Alright, so, and also signature cost spirit as well, so yeah, alright, so that is it. And I want to show you how he plays like as well in this sort of environment, because he's very special. He's like a hero whereby you just bulldoze your way through it, and it is. You don't have a lot of like area power that clear, but that's fine. But you just like keep bulldozing your way through all the mobs, and it's kind of special, right? So here's a glider as well, but the glider, unlike Jean, unlike say Spider-Man, it actually costs spirit, and that's kind of disappointing, because if you think about it, right? If you really think about it, I mean, how difficult it is to implement, to remove the spirit coils, because the glider itself does nothing but traveling. Jean can travel without spirit, Spider-Man can travel without spirit, same sort of power, it doesn't even do any damage. So why doesn't it do that? I don't know. It just, by the way, this boss fight is really boring. It's nothing you can do. And you just wait until it's, okay, so drop the health to 0, 1, 2, 3, and then signature in. Alright, and that's it. Right? So that is actually pretty decent. And it depends on how much damage you deal, then the health will get regenerated. So, I guess what improvement I would like to propose to Gazillion when it comes to Moon Knight is that the first thing first, the spirit is too intensive. I think it's not aligned with the current hero. What they can do, the first one first, and the second one, I have also I feel that I think that the powers still can be adjusted up a little bit, although it does seems quite effective. And the last one is that when the Avatar of Vengeance expire, I should have a timer to know when it's going to expire, because it is important. I have to get away from the danger before, like for instance, if I know the Manape is going to slam on it, but I still have 3 more seconds, I can still stand on it and eat it. But if not, then I do not want to get gain half the health, but then after that I get killed by and I get defeated by the Manape slam and so on. It defeats the whole purpose of the vengeance, I feel. So I mean, that would be nice if they could do something like making it a little bit more. A bit more feedback on what he can do. But I think all in all, I mean, he's a pretty fun hero, but it seems a little bit slow in terms of walking and whatnot. Don't you guys feel that? Yeah, alright, so let me jump into, say, Cosmic Patrol and see how that goes for you guys, alright? Alright, this is Moon Knight in Cosmic Patrol, and together with me, Deadpool the Kid as the team up. So I'm going in, and let me see what happened. Okay, so this is the living laser thing. So I'm gonna drop my health to 0 and just eat all the damage here. Alright, so just like just take it like a man. Alright, man. Whenever whatever cool down, so I don't really get a lot back, health back. So I'm gonna drop the statue right now because it looks a bit dicey, and I'm hitting. Wizard right now. Whenever I snap that cooldown is on, I use it. Alright, so don't get charged by a Juggernaut. Yeah, it could be quite scary. So I'm just whenever the snare is on cooldown, do it. Alright, so that is about it. And after that, my signature is up, the gruesome frenzy. But as you can see, the spirit consumption is extremely high. Alright. Just make sure that I got the signature. I don't know why it doesn't quite register sometimes the signature. I don't know. Does it hit anything? I don't know. Is it a bug? Maybe it's a bug. I don't know. You guys can tell me. Alright, so again, I can drop my health to 0, and anyway, can't really do anything right now. Alright, so this is the part that I do not. I got charged by a Juggernaut, but seems alright. Seems I still stay alive. So that is how you do the gift of vengeance. Alright. So I mean, it's strange. The bug is very strange. I don't know why. Okay, now it's working. So it just sometimes it doesn't off the cooldown. I don't know. I seldom see this, so I don't get charged by him. Alright, so Bola and Snare again. Alright, so that is all. Moon Knight in Cosmic. Come on, man. Moon Knight in a Cosmic Patrol. Alright, so and so as I continue to loot, I probably just talk a little bit about the survivability, because when it comes to Moon Knight, I think he survived pretty well in a Cosmic Patrol environment. I'm not, like I said, I'm not even using the health gear which I have here. I could have used it, but I didn't use it. So I think he's doing fine. I mean, I need the kind of like crit and brutal to get my tribute up. As soon as my tribute is up, then I can start using it to drop my health to 0, become invincible for that period of time, which lasts about 8 seconds of the just invincible. That kind of feeling. I mean, you don't really have it in other games whereby other hero whereby you feel invincible. Let me do a Manape here, because I need to. I've got a buff to sort of like take down Manape, so I'm going to just do it, and and perhaps show you his ultimate. How about that, huh? Probably don't need to. Anyway, so and I don't get slam. I don't have the treble yet. Don't get whatever here. I got a treble now. I'm going to hit it with my signature. So I don't know what you can see from my screen so far. I mean, you know, I think my 8 second is up. Then I put down my statue and I continue to apply pressure, and that's it. And done. I'm done. All right. So that is all. That is all. And that is, I recover some drive. By the way, it's armor event. Just keep playing, keep looting, get one of those things that you need. And yeah, I mean, I hope you kind of like get an idea of how he plays like. And of course, you know, crit is very important to him because as you get hit, crit, you actually get higher chance to higher rate of getting a tribute. Once you get a tribute, you can do a vengeance, cheat death, right? And there's a lot of stuff going on, but a lot of time you can't really see what happens. My apologies. It's just that, you know, because there's nothing much really. There's something about Moon Knight is you know, is really can't see what's happening, or melee in general. So yeah. So alright. So that is probably it. I don't really need to drop my health and whatnot. Just probably do a signature, and yeah, that's all. So. Yeah, so all in all, I hope I convinced you that Moon Knight is a very unique hero. You probably haven't played anything like Moon Knight before. It's pretty exciting as well to drop the health to 0 and see how the thing goes. So yeah, next stop is the training room. Okay, you guys know the drill. What do we do here? Let's talk about the build. Alright, so now when it comes to Moon Knight, I went through the numbers and derived this build to give me the maximum potential. Also something that I can play with because, you know, sometimes some power when they come together, it doesn't really feel the fluidity. This one looks pretty fine to me. Alright, so let's talk about the passive first. When it comes to Moon Knight, there are two passive. One is the Feast of Khonshu. I think it's kind of decent. You have crit and brutal. I was hoping that the damage rating is not only to those that are targeting you, because in a group and raid environment, nothing target you all the time, so it's kind of a waste. And another one is this one. I think it's important to be able to sort of like you know have the kind of defense and the health as well, because Moon Knight can feel a little bit vulnerable when, you know, after the health regen, it may not be like up to full and so on. So yeah, I mean, that is something that you probably need to think about. I wish there was something that to do with his moon thing and kind of like spirit regen and his brutal or crit. How nice would that be, right? Think about it, how nice would that be? But it never been that way. Anyway, so when it comes to let's talk about the blessing first, because you know, a lot of discussion on in the past talk about the avatar, the tool of vengeance or avatar of vengeance, right? So one is to give you a free spirit kind of thing. The other one to give you, like, you know, invincible for the 8 seconds. You drop your health to 0. Now there's a very nice decent passive effect. Either one that you pick, either gift that you pick, you know, it buff your damage rating, the flat damage rating, as you use up spirit. It also buff your health as well. You know, your buff your crit and the crit damage rating as you lose health. All right, so that's all right. It's also pretty decent. It's by percentage, so you know, some in the past would like to run a low health kind of a Moon Knight. I personally wouldn't go that direction in a sense nowadays, because the content tend to be a little bit harder, and also, I mean, you know, yeah, I mean, so that's one thing that you may want to consider. Then the other one is this is for crowd control breaker. I map it to F3, so I think you guys should as well. This one will come from the gear, so don't need to spend any points in it. And the statue of Khonshu is the one that you know, you drop the statue there. When do you use it? Usually I use it when I need to recover health and spirit. That's all. So usually after I recover from the gift of from the avatar of vengeance, then I'll use this one to sort of like, you know, continue buffing myself. And the cooldowns kind of map quite nicely as well. It takes a while for the tribute to come in. As I said before, tribute, you collect tribute when you crit and so on. So crit is very important for Moon Knight. All right, so that's why, you know, even when my Moon Knight is not, I mean, I actually took down the reading before his health even dropped to 0%. You know, his crit is about 62%. For my Moon Knight, 62 to 63%. So I sort of like get quite you know, serious about his crit, making sure that his tribute is going back up fast. All right, so on to the Lunar Legionnaire, kind of like a tree. don't use basic, because basic kind of like you know, just not great at all. And yeah, I mean, if you cannot maintain the spirit, then of course there's not much choice to you. Then I would probably pick the spike goulet because of the shorter distance than the moon staff, which is a little bit further, that you tend to miss some of this power that you have, like, you know, if you want to use it as a layer. All right, so but don't, I mean, I just use the Saturn's goulet punch as my, you know, as my main spender, and the and it is decent. It's not great, but it's decent, better than the other two. And also then with this, then of course one question asked that should I use ricochet or not, but in an environment whereby it's not really a lot of, like, you know, if you're doing a single target, you know, it doesn't really ricochet that much. And but by the way, the buff is every 1.5 second buff the next melee power to a certain percentage, certain, you know, number. So I wouldn't really sweat about using a ricochet. It's not Cyclops, ricochet is not always king, so I don't use that. Then the other two are not just you know, not really that great. By the way, the gruesome frenzy is pretty decent as well. It can do it 14 times within 7 seconds, and so you have to keep mashing your button like crazy. And the last one that you land onto it, and you give a big kind of like you know, big kind of hit to it as well. But you know, bear in mind that you may hit air, so you have to constantly getting close using your punch to get close, and then after that use a gruesome frenzy 14 times. Man, my finger actually get numb playing Moon Knight, because, you know, first of all, this one need to punch as well. This one need to punch. Everything just keep punching. Anyway, now Moon Knight is very interesting because his layer doesn't come from pure melee, right? So a lot of his layer come from, at least 3 layer come from ranged, or potentially more, depending on how many power you can manage. The best power to really pick is the snare. Snare is the highest DPS. It is sort of like a 2-second cooldown, so every time you can bring the target onto you. So you cannot leap on the target, you can bring target onto you. But there's a plus side. Downside is just like Nightcrawler's, you know, flash and grab, that you can't really snare everybody onto you. Some just can't be snared. Like boss cannot be snared, robot cannot be snared. So his usage is very limited. Just use it as a 2-second cooldown. It's alright. And after that, use the Crescent Fan as well as the Baller, Tripwire Baller as your DPS layer, because these are all 8 seconds. So theoretically, you can do 4 times of this. On the 4th time, you reapply this tool. So you use this as a timer for this tool. But in reality, I feel that sometimes my animation, my clicking can be a little bit slow. If you want to keep this tool to 100%, I would advise to just do it every 3 times and reapply this tool. All right. So, and the glider is one that you should use. I wish there's no spirit cost. I said that. I'm not going to say it again. And the explosive Crimson Dart is extremely low DPS. If you think about what Spider-Man can do, with the same kind of power with the web spray, you are looking at like way off the chart, like way off. So I don't even bother to use it. It consumes spirit as well. My Moon Knight has spirit issue, but if you want to take that, have that 10%, added onto your enemy, if you can manage the kind of hotbar dancing as well. I mean, where else can I put it in this hotbar? I can't. So if you can, then go ahead. But I wouldn't kind of advise on that. All right. So that is on the build itself. Gear-wise, for Moon Knight is a little bit interesting as well, because he's not fully a melee hero. Is in fact 3 layers are from range. 1 layer is from melee. So the speed is going to be quite a substantial amount of damage on the range one. So when you pick artifact, pick something that is generic. Now the artifact I pick here is very standard, the baseline, so you see what you can do. If you gear him a little bit harder, you can do a lot better, right? So things like, check out the other guide, the best artifact guide. It tells you a list of artifact use for each type of hero. So if you want to stay generic, stay physical, things like Gorilla Necklace, like the Nano Poison, those are like the advanced circlet of Sectoret. Those are very decent kind of artifacts for Moon Knight. You could, however, go down this as well. Something that General Curse or something like somewhere in the middle. So I mean, there are some other artifacts you can use and to help Moon Knight. But whatever it is, this thing, crit is very important for Moon Knight. And as for medallion wise, I mean, depends on how much crit you have. So I have already way more than enough crit. So I would probably go for something like a Shocker. because you know, you're looking for something pure physical. There are many pure physical kind of like a medallion. Now the one that I use is actually a cursed medallion, and it's a legacy decision. The roll is not even nice, but you see what he can do. It's not really that bad either. Now why did I use the cursed medallion? Because back then I didn't use a lot of like range. I thought I'm going to use a lot of melee, but it didn't. So if you like, you can use something like a shocker. You can use something that is more like benefit your more generic in nature, like even the Doom's medallion is fine, like the Bull Eye is fine as well, you know. Yeah, I mean Grim Reaper, I think. So there's a lot of options on the medallion. Sometimes it depends on availability as well. Roll, you know, you can't really say I want this one and I want the max roll. I can't, right? You can't do that. All right. So that is something to think about. Shocker is something you can easily farm, so do it. In terms of the rune words wise, I mean, the Bone Breaker is one of the better ones. There's also another video called the best rune word guys, give you a whole list of what rune words you can use. And I mean, looking at his power with the gear is not really hitting 50. Maybe God of Mischief is something that could be useful as well, right? I mean, you know, a lot of things I'm still like 1-2 rank off. So +1 rank could mean quite a fair bit to Moon Knight. It's quite unfortunate, you know. I mean, some of these numbers just. I mean, look at newer design of the hero is a lot better. So I've been farming, but you know, if that's what I have, that I'm using what I have. And the rex wise, I mean, go for something generic like crit damage rating should be very decent. If you have something, you know, like I think Numeria is something useful for Moon Knight because of the rate that he's dropping all the health. I think is useful. Also, those plus spirit as well. You may consider if you run into huge spirit issue. You know, all these Gimoran, the relics that give you spirit. Those sitting on the bank, you don't know what to give to, because nowadays not many hero has heavy spirit issue. So he's one of them. Rocket Raccoon is another one. And I'm not quite sure about Taskmaster, but you know, in the past it was really spirit intensive. So use that for the hero if you find that you know, extra spirit help. And also, if your spirit really have a problem, use the River of the Soul. There's no right or wrong answer. At the end of the day, you want to enjoy what you're playing, right? So, but without using a basic, because basic is not really that, you know, it's not really. I mean, you want to see him punch and then the mob die like instantly, right? So yeah, I mean, that is one. I think ESP boss could help with spirit as well. So ring wise, pick something that if you have the ICP ring on the physical, use it. Mayhem ring, use it. As for the unique, I'm just using what I'm having here. Not necessarily the most fantastic unique. I have still quite a fair bit of improvement, but I think they are improving quite a fair bit. I spent quite some time in the Midtown Patrol, so I think they are kind of improving quite a fair bit. You know, I happen to have quite a high crit. Now, I didn't plan for this to happen. Alright, because I rolled it, because each roll it costs quite a lot of money, right? Quite a lot of credit. But I get the rank 4 as a crit is pretty high, it's near max already. And the rank 3 also pretty high, near max as well. So I say, well, it's for Moon Knight. Moon Knight need the crit for the tribute, I keep it. So without this one, I think my crit is it dropped about quite a fair bit. But I mean, it helps. Got a tribute kind of thing going on. So but if you do not have crit issue and think that, well, my Moon Knight crit is fine, then use something crit damage rating. But I'm more like, you know, just maximizing my resource. Because since I rolled the 3 and 4 is actually quite nice, so I can't keep it. If you have +1 strength, use it. Definitely, you will need the core to regenerate the spirit, I think, if you want the spirit to be basicless. All right, so in terms of the team insignia, you have a lot of other kind of like option as well, but I mean, because he bleed as well, so you know, something that you would consider bleeding. I think one of them bleed as well. The fan bleeds, so that's why I use a fan as well. Quite nice. This one bleed as well. So so it give damage versus bleeding. And when you pick your hero synergy, pick X23 as well, bleeding. So I mean, from a hero synergy point of view, what else you need? I mean, Ant-Man, you know, is a must. War Machine is a must, and you know. And a couple of generic ones like Wolverine, like you know, like Cable give you a crit, give you a brutal. Moon Knight himself give you the physical crit as well. So it's quite a lot of things to choose from, depending on what kind of heroes you have. All right, so next bit is about the rotation. So onto the rotation. It's not going to be easy, but I'm going to try my best to demonstrate to you. So on the rotation wise, you should use a snare every like 2 seconds if you can. Then we apply the fan and the bola as the second layer. But I mean, bear in mind that all these become very spirit intensive. So whether you can keep up with it or not, I mean, it is something that you have to judge. So for a single target, you may not want to use a snare too often, but in a multiple in a multiple target, you probably can. So I'm going to just fast forward how it goes. So it's always snare 1 2 3. All right. So if you keep using a snare, you'll realize that you actually quite a lot of like spirit being lost, and the so okay, reapply the fan and the bola again. All right. So now I can drop my health to 0. All right. All right. Then after that, I can do my signature. Hit it like a madman. All right. So all right. Okay, I dropped the statue here so as to help me. So I think in this build, you probably would be much better off if you do a River of the Soul, because I'm actually frantically hitting my mech kit as well. So it's actually a bit quite challenging if you don't use River of the Soul. All right, so for single target. But if you do it for like a patrol environment or for like the a terminal or whatnot, it actually is doable, because you don't really keep up. Have to keep hitting all the time. This one consumes quite a lot of spirit. It's a 12.8 spirit, kind of thing. But I mean, this is one of the best, best hit that you can have. So so that is something that you have to choose by how much you need to sacrifice on certain things, or gear quite hard on certain, like give you a maybe ESP box and so on. All right. So hope that's useful. That is for the rotation. Last part of the video, the number crunching. And the so some of you may be interested to know how Moon Knight design is like. So at the no gear, no Omega point, no synergy, no team up gear, looks something like this. And the reason why I use the punch as the main spender, because the number looks pretty attractive. Now, of course, these are just no gear. When you put on the gear and so on, the 40% is going to get like diminished in a sense, because in the larger scheme of work, you have a lot higher normal damage. Whatever 40% added onto it may not give the kind of result that you have. So it may drop to about it's still pretty decent. All right. So but it's not as like huge as what you see here. Okay, so there are other things that you could consider, like ricochet as well, like I mentioned. But I mean, I don't really model everything. I just model a few things, and I want to show you why the crescent dart is so poor. The DPS, so I don't really take that. And I mean, for every 2 seconds, you can use a direct damage like a crescent snare as well. If you can keep up the spirit, the 14,000 DPS is decent. The other two is kind of rubbish, because like for the damage over time, usually even for range, you get about 7k, 8k, 10k kind of thing. If you look at Spider-Man, 14k or whatnot. So what is this 6 or 7k? So I mean, when I look at number, it's not that fantastic. But when I play Moon Knight, I mean, he is effective. I mean, he is effective, I would say. Especially his signature, because it has execute function to it. But I don't know. I mean, let me know how you feel about Moon Knight, and I hope this video is useful, especially to the fans, because sometimes when you're a fan, you don't really care about whether a hero is the strongest or not. You just want to play him, and he has one of the best like a synergy, because crit for physical is like a must for this game, because I think a lot of heroes are physical heroes in this game. So yeah. That is all, and if you like this sort of guide and so on, do feel free to check out the description of the video. There's a link back to my website, has a list of all these videos, and do feel free to request. I mean, who knows, if I have the time, I can do it for you guys. All right, so see you next time. Bye.